It's one of Queensland's most heart-wrenching unsolved crimes. In just over a week, a coroner will begin trying to uncover what happened to Daniel Morcombe. The disappearance of the 13-year-old from a Sunshine Coast bus stop in 2003 has been the subject of one of the most extensive police investigations in the state's history. For the teenager's parents, this latest inquiry offers at least the possibility of answers. But in the meantime, they've continued their work with the foundation set up in Daniel's honour. And as Meg Purtell reports, that work recently helped reunite another father and his abducted son.
Ken Thompson's search for his son might well have been like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Well, I'd spend about sort of 6 to 8 hours a day on the bike, doing about 100 kilometres a day. So I had plenty of time by myself to think about things.
2 years ago, the then 3-year-old Andrew was abducted by his mother after a bitter custody battle. In all, it's ended pretty well, with father and son reunited.
It took me 3 days to accept that he'd been found. I wasn't prepared to get my hopes up. I'd had my hopes up several times before.
Bruce and Denise Morcombe know what it's like to have a missing child.
It has been over a year since our son Daniel was abducted.
We need to find Daniel and those responsible for his abduction.
13-year-old Daniel Morcombe was waiting for a bus on the Sunshine Coast in December 2003 when it's thought he was abducted and murdered.
We often hear the word closure, but we're probably a long way from that, and I'm not sure closure's a word I'm comfortable with. It's a word that's tossed around, but you know, we're looking to find Daniel. We're looking to find the people responsible.
The Daniel Morcombe Foundation was set up to help find the boy, but it's also helping other families. And it's funded some of Ken Thompson's travel expenses.
It was a first time, and to this date still a once only. But you know, it's had a fantastic result, and everybody's really chuffed that you know, we've backed a winner. Ken's backed a winner, and I think the real winner of this is Andrew himself.
The foundation also runs safety awareness projects in schools and holds fundraising events in Daniel's honour.
It's what we get up in the morning to do. If you get up in the morning thinking we're going to solve Daniel's case, and some of the heartache that perhaps goes with that, where you're thinking, I wish I'd done that, or I wish somebody else had done this, you're just beating yourself up. And, you know, sometimes you just need to think of the positive things.
The case has rarely been out of the media spotlight, and when the coroner begins investigating the disappearance, it will be back there again.
We've got some grim days over a long course of time ahead of us, but, you know, we'll just take it each day at a time, each step at a time, and we'll see what the coroner does.
The coroner might compel a person, even though they have this reasonable excuse of a risk of self-incrimination, they might compel them to give information, the information that they have. The problem then, though, for the coroner, if they do that, is that that person can't then be prosecuted for the crime.
Heather Douglas from the University of Queensland says the inquest will allow the coroner to explore all of the issues surrounding Daniel Morcombe's disappearance and presumed murder. A number of suspects have previously been identified, and Dr Douglas says they could be called to give evidence. But she cautions the inquest may not provide all of the answers.
It's absolutely true that we might come to the conclusion that we don't know how he died, we don't know whether he's died, or we don't know where or when. So that's quite possible that the coroner would come to that conclusion.
But Dr Douglas says the process can also provide comfort.
For some families, the coronial inquest is really important because what they do want to know is answers to these questions of who, what, when, why, how, rather than having a prosecution or some kind of extra legal determination.
It's not a process that we're comfortable with at all. And look, our number one priority is to find Daniel. We realise that's probably going to be Daniel's remains, but if that is the case, we need to find those. We need to lay them to rest as a family should do, and to say goodbye with dignity.
Meg Purtell reporting, and the coronial inquiry is scheduled to begin on the 11th of this month.